Good morning, everybody. Good morning for another 5 minutes. This is Morning Motivation with Miranda, and it's been a while. It's been a few minutes. I don't even remember the last time that I recorded a video for you guys. I would have to say it was probably months ago. But I'm here today because I have some important things I want to talk about and because I want to start doing these again. One of the main reasons that I want to start doing these again is because I really missed them and I really miss talking to you guys. So say hi if you're watching. Throw me a thumbs up or a heart or just say hello. And we're going to be talking about what happens when you achieve a big goal and then you feel a little sad, especially in terms of your career, why that might be, how to overcome it, and how to not let it ruin your day. I'm talking about this today because it's pretty relevant. It happened to me today, and so we're gonna get into it. Hey, it looks like my LinkedIn is working, which is awesome. It says nobody's viewing, but I just got a thumbs up from Phyllis on LinkedIn, so that's amazing. Awesome. This is going to be my first time doing a live video on the LinkedIn platform. All right, so before I get into what I'm here to talk about today, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, there is a number and it's right there. Okay. There's a phone number, there is a website. Those are both scrolling. Well, the phone number's scrolling, the website's static. You can book a call or you can just text me. You can text me a question. You can text me a thought. You can text me something about your career challenges. It's helpful if you identify yourself, and so I know how to respond to you and I can say hi later. Or you can go in and book a call and get a full 30 plus minutes where we talk about your resume and your LinkedIn and your goals. I do this for folks who are starting businesses too. I do that with Lee, but you can book the call the same way and we'll take care of it on the back end and make sure that he's here. So go ahead and do that if you want to have a conversation. And I also want to let you know that at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to talk to you about a few things that are coming up that are exciting. But right now, let's get into the topic for today. So what do you do if you achieve a big goal and you start feeling a little sad? And if you've ever had that experience, you can know that you're not alone. And it might not be something that you wanted to talk about because you're thinking, I just achieved this big thing. I just did this thing that I set out to do. When we hear all the time in business and career that we need to set goals, you hear that with just about everything. Set a goal, work towards the goal. So you would think that when you achieve the goal, you would be super excited and you'd feel really good about it. And that's not always the case. And sometimes when people aren't feeling super good after achieving their goal, they don't really want to say anything about it because they're thinking, you know what, some other people didn't achieve their goal. I don't want to be like a sore winner. I don't want to say anything about how I'm feeling, which isn't super positive. And so they just kind of stock it up or chalk it up. I just said stock it up, which is no stalking. Chalk it up to I'm a little weird and move on. And you don't need to do that. So there are actually psychological reasons for why we might start to feel kind of bad after achieving a big goal. A lot of that has to do with the release of dopamine in the brain and when it's released. There's studies that show we can even trick our brain into thinking that we achieved the goal before we achieved the goal. And sometimes that causes an early release of the dopamine. It's actually a really good thing to do if you want to try to achieve the goal because it really gets us oftentimes to achieve the goal more effectively. So there's that. That has a lot to do with it. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, nor do I play one on TV. I have a lot of interest in this stuff. And when I go back and finish my PhD, it is going to be in some version of psychology. I know a couple people who know a lot more about this than I do, which I'd be happy to refer you if you have questions about that. But there is a scientific basis to that as well as sometimes more of an ambiguous reason to why we start to feel bad after we've achieved a goal. Sometimes we just have focused so much of our energy on achieving that goal that once we have achieved the goal, we're kind of wondering, well, what do I do next? One of my favorite TV shows is The West Wing, and the president, Jed Bartlett from The West Wing, has this saying, what's next? And the idea is that in this work environment where there's a lot of upheaval, a lot of emergencies, it's a high stress situation, he gets into the rhythm by saying, what's next? Bring in the next thing. Let's go. Let's move on to the next thing. Sometimes we don't always do that, and that can be a very effective way to manage this type of feeling by saying, okay, what's the next thing? We're actually turning our attention to the next thing. Sometimes we have to physically force ourselves to turn the attention to the next thing, not because the next thing is a bad thing, but just because we're so focused on this thing, we need to intentionally shift our energy and our focus to the next thing, the next goal. And sometimes I have clients who come to me as a career coach and say, I'm in this role. I was using your services to help me get this role. Now I have this role. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought I'd be super excited. I thought I would be, doing all these things. I'm not doing those things. I'm not feeling it. And oftentimes they haven't shifted their energy and their intention from, I want to get the role, to what the next thing is in performing in the role. So a lot of times I recommend journaling for that. I suggest that they go home, they sit down, they type, or they record, or they handwrite what the next thing is. And then that is a way that we can shift our intentions on to the next thing. Sometimes we just forget to do that, and we need to take a minute. Sometimes we haven't taken a moment to celebrate and get excited and be happy about the goal that you've achieved. Oftentimes we are taught to be very humble, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that everybody should go out and be prideful. At the same time, we don't take the time to get excited and congratulate ourselves and give ourselves credit for achieving that thing. Oftentimes, if you think back to school, and once you got to a certain level in your spelling or you passed a test, you'd at least get a little nice note for a teacher or a sticker or something that would help you celebrate that moment and move on to the next thing. Sometimes when we skip that step, we're mourning or missing that celebration. We're not giving credit to ourselves, and that is a struggle. So a lot of times I tell my clients that as well. Take that time and be excited about what you just did. Pat yourself on the back. Tell somebody, do a thing to celebrate what you just achieved. Along with that, sometimes that feeling of sadness that comes along with of achieving a goal and what's next, sometimes that feeling of sadness can be related to your body telling you that now it's time to rest. Sometimes we're trying to move on too quickly to the next thing. And that can be a problem because we haven't given ourselves a natural transition. We haven't taken the time to relax, rest, recuperate, all of those things that we need to do. And then sometimes there's just a moment of confusion. Did I possibly peak? Have I reached this goal and I'm never going to achieve anything else? I'm not quite sure why our brain goes there, honestly. There is a term for it. I don't remember it. I will probably put it in the comments later, but sometimes we do allow ourselves to go there, which is not accurate. And again, it takes that intentional moving on and saying, you know what, we can do more. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's what the next plan is. Just reminding yourself that there's much more to do, and you're going to do it, and you're going to do it well. getting some of that self-talk in there, specific plans to explain what it is that you're planning to do. And I got a comment from a LinkedIn user, but I don't know who it is. Somebody's saying Professor Morley, so it must have been one of my students. Hi. So all of that is to say that when we're having those feelings of sadness, when we achieve a goal, that doesn't mean that that feeling is going to last forever. And it doesn't mean that you have to live there. It means that it's natural. It's something that happens because of chemicals in the brain. And there are things that we can do to shift to the next thing. So if this is something you're experiencing and you want to chat with me about it, you have a phone number, you have a website, and you can book a free call with me and we can take some time, or you can just text me a quick question. All of those things are great ways for you to chat with me about this issue or anything else related to your career, your business, or even your life. I'm not an expert in everything. I have some experience in career and business. Outside of that, I'd be happy to give you my opinion, but I'm definitely happy to just be a listening ear. All right, I am going to try very quickly to share a screen with you and just let you know about some things that are going on in with our Microspaces, which is our new project that we have going on. Here it is. Look at that. Okay, so Microspaces of Northwest Indiana. If you are in Northwest Indiana or the Chicagoland region, this applies to you. This is a project of Business Beyond Numbers. It's a grassroots collaborative where we're helping people to do what they love and love what they do by starting really small businesses and growing their businesses. And so one of the things that we are doing is we have events in our first Microspace in Hobart. Coming up tonight, we have a creative folding art sculpture event. It is a very meditative, I think that's the word. If I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, please let me know. Project that also will leave you with a special art piece. Anybody can do it. And you can meet us over there at Busy Bee Creative Works at 6 p.m. tonight to do that event. Coming up on August 10th is the Mommy and Me Hello Kitty cupcake making and decorating for children under 10. And then we have a beginner crochet class on the 15th. On the 16th, we have Angie from Trinity Healing Center teaching on the importance of breath. That is going to be a phenomenal class, and I really hope you're there. And then on the 22nd, we have Supper and Success. That is our monthly event that is a service of Business Beyond Numbers, and it's only $5. Your soup, salad, and breadsticks are included, and we're going to talk about lead generation number 2. We had lead generation number 1 last month, but if you didn't come, that's fine. Feel free to come if you have come before to Supper and Success, or if you have never come to Supper and Success. So these are our upcoming events. If you want to know more about what a microspace is, if you want to know more about how you can get involved, either by attending events, hosting an event, putting your stuff up for sale at the microspace, please let me know. We've got some cool things still coming up in August, including hint on the 26th, not the 22nd, the 26th, we are having a natural women's health and spa vendor fair. All of our vendors will have free items for those who come, and there will also be the chance for you to try some other things that are not free but are discounted. So I know we're going to have ionic foot baths there. We're working on getting some different nails and hair people who are there. We're going to have someone doing Reiki, massage therapy, paint therapy, writing therapy, lots of cool stuff. So that is going to be at our microspace. Please let me know if you have more questions about that. If you're not in Northwest Indiana and you've been tuning out for the past 4 minutes, you're still welcome to tune into Morning Motivation with Miranda, which will likely be every Wednesday at the latest possible part of the morning. As we know now it's afternoon since I've been on for 15 minutes. All right, book your call, text me your questions, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.